Donaghy's testimonial and the return to Kenilworth Road in his honour of a lot of old favourites and familiar faces. Well, comings and goings, not only of Donaghy, have been the theme of this part of town season, not always in such cheerful circumstances as these. But it was really good to see players like Roy Wegerle, David Moss, Ricky Hill, Brian Steen, Paul Elliott, Brian Horton and so many more back on town territory when Ricky Hill brought the Le Havre team to Kenilworth Road. Well, in the early days of the year, of course, a new management regime took over. Donaghy returned to Manchester United. More of his farewell later. But first, one of the best memories of the autumn. Let's go back to October with Kingsley Black.
Kingsley, let's take you back first of all to the Norwich game. It was a clear-cut win, an important win. What sort of a performance was it from the side's point of view, do you think?
It's a very good one. We haven't perhaps done so well at home this year as in previous years, and we got off to an early start and we were able to put a lot of pressure under Norwich, and we beat them convincingly at the end of the day there.
Bit of a lucky old goal, that goal of yours to start with?
Perhaps, yeah, but it did set us on our way, and it's always nice to even get perhaps a deflection or two, but I'm very happy with it.
But the goals in the second half were particularly clear-cut and a lot of good Luton play there.
Certainly, yeah, we did. That was a very good all-round team performance that day, and the goals matched that really.
So in windy, difficult conditions, it's Luton who get the game on the move with the long ball forward and out at Luton, perhaps too close to the relegation group at the moment. Norwich confident, successful, but no reason to fear anybody anywhere. But now they've got to think again with no Andy Townsend, and it looks as if Dave Phillips will go into the middle of the field with Fox obviously on the wing. On and picked up comfortably by Black. They didn't have a good game here in the last match against Aston Villa, but most of the time Luton have been playing pretty well without scoring when they're in control of games. Lilligan, Williams is back in the side after a cartilage operation. Priest will work as hard as anyone on that left-hand side. Forward by John Dreyer to Danny Wilson, the captain. John Dreyer to take the throw. Beaumont behind him, down the line is Priest, this is Wegerle. Nice ball to Breaker. Lets it run to Lars Elstrup. Breaker stopped by Butterworth and Norwich tight at the back. They'll take their time, they won't be rushed. And they'll play as they've been taught, and it's proved so successful. Rosario getting up cleanly. Sherwood waiting for the bounce. Wilson to Wegerle, nice ball. Elstrup goes forward, good closing down play by Norwich. Priest into the middle. And here's Kingsley Black. And I'm pretty confident that Brian Gunn had it well covered, but nice to see Luton with a half opening so early on. Nice bit of play between the Dane and the English-Irish lad. Good shot, but Gunn comfortably in position. Rosario getting up with Roger. Free kick against Robert Rosario. Quickly taken by Steve Williams. Breaker looking for the front man. Breaker again to Elstrup. Nice first-time ball to Kingsley Black. On the left-hand side goes John Dreyer. Luton looking smart here in this opening spell. Dreyer's cross. Up goes Elstrup. Beaten well by Butterworth. Here's Kingsley Black and a shoot. It's in! Kingsley Black with a bobbling shot that beats Brian Gunn. Ends the record and puts Luton Town ahead. Nice header, but Kingsley Black wriggles it away, then he stabs it forward, bounces, deflected, bounce away from the goalkeeper into the back of the net. 1-0, and 4 minutes gone. Well, a bit of fortune for Luton, but perhaps they've needed that. Bad luck for Norwich City. The record's gone, and they are one down. No blame to Brian Gunn there. He couldn't possibly have covered that one. It's a dangerous one from Crook, and Black is almost in on Bowen. And now Breaker is. Breaker to Wegerle. Breaker's gone on the right-hand side for the pass. He can get past Bowen. There's the cross. But the Welsh fullback did very well to close it down again. And we've already got a substitute warming up for Luton, with Roger still hurt, but he's back into the penalty area now, trying to get on the end of this corner. Their first, taken by David Priest. Wegerle gets there, but it had already gone out. There looks to be a problem for Luton here, because I think Graham Roger is not going to be much longer with us. He's competing for this one with Rosario, and in fact he wins it, but he's got a bad ankle injury, leg injury anyhow, and we might have to have a change in the Luton lineup. We'll see how he develops in the next couple of minutes. He certainly doesn't want the pass from Beaumont. Ball put out by Chamberlain. I think Roger is now going to be substituted by young Richard Harvey, the fullback. So this is a bad blow for Luton after only 16 minutes of the game. Graham Roger just settling into this side. Only his second league game goes off. On comes Richard Harvey, who's a fullback and has had one league game so far this season. Fleck trying to find Rosario. Forward goes Wegerle, he might get there, but just too fast for him. But that was excellent first-time play by Luton. That goal's really given them some confidence. Phillips gets in there well. Dale Gordon wants help on the left. Finds it from Bowen. In for Crook. Elstrup's onto him quickly. One over the top from Linnigan. Richard Harvey, the substitute, with his first touch. Fleck, he's got it, but he hasn't got any help either from colleagues or from the referee. Elstrup, rare miscontrol. His touch and ball control is really of international class, but not on that occasion. Now Fox. In for Fleck. Fox. Got to be careful they're not offside. Luton kept their discipline well, and here's Elstrup. Linnigan cuts it out. Bowen, nice touch to Crook. And they resist the temptation to boot it. Rosario wins well, not quite into the path of Crook coming through from midfield. Well, one again by Linnigan. Elstrup forward to Wegerle. Wegerle's in with a chance here, he can make it two. Wegerle's still with it, and he's lost it, but Elstrup's still there as well. And the opportunity now must surely have gone, but it's still Luton in possession. Tim Breaker, can he get a cross in? Over comes David Priest, won by Sherwood very well. Priest and Sherwood appeals for handball, and Sherwood's done magnificently. Given away though by Gordon, picked up again by Rosario. Gordon again, it's a fine ball to Ralph Fox. Fox couldn't knock it quite into the path he wanted. He's got support from behind him though, but he can't get by Breaker. Now things are closing up. Bowen chip forward is too strong. But they could so easily have been 2 up Luton Town, but for Brian Gunn's bit of imagination and coolness. He came out on Wegerle, he made the forward make up his mind, and when he was a little bit slow about it, he was able to divert it. Rosario, Phillips, Bowen, they're working very hard on their game, Norwich now. They're finding it hard to get through, though, this resolute Luton midfield and back line. Bowen, well played, return from Dale Gordon. Bowen, the good ball in. Here comes Rosario. Good pinch by John Dreyer. John Dreyer, the fullback brought into the middle because of the injury to Roger, did a very, very important job there. An excellent ball put across the face of the goal. Rosario would have had that, and that was nicely judged. Sherwood's throw. Here goes Rosario as Fleck, and banged away by Kingsley Black. 2 against 1 here, or 3 against 1 if you count Brian Gunn. Dreyer lured into leaping a bit early onto the back of Robert Rosario. That's a free kick. We've had half an hour. It's Luton leading by 1-0. It's Crook firing one over, and Butterworth has crept up. He can knock it back well, and here's Rosario. He should have done better. Rosario went for power in a position where he had a big, big target to aim at, and it wasn't enough, but it was a great piece of quick thinking by Crook, by the captain Butterworth. Perfectly placed header across there. He had time to pick his spot, really, but he went for the big one. Meanwhile, a conference between linesman Ron Coton from Cirencester and the Gloucestershire referee. Two captains are being called over. The other linesman's coming over as well. Well, it looks as if the referee, Brian Stevens, who's enjoying his second extension of his Football League authority, is actually going to be substituted. We've got a leg injury, so if he goes off, that means the senior man, Ron Coton from Cirencester, will take over. So the end of the game for Brian Stevens for the moment. And of course a substitute official as well, which is normal practice. So away goes Mr. Stevens. 3 minutes of this half left, and Ron Coton is in charge. Fleck to Crook. Crook, can he get there before Williams? No, he can't. Now the chance for them to break. Williams to Wegerle, that's a lovely ball. Elstrop is coming in on the far post. Wegerle squares it, shoots, and Gunn's knee saves the day. Wegerle denied again by the Scottish goalkeeper. Nice ball forward. Here's Crook, here's Fleck. Fleck shoots, and the goalkeeper at the other end saves. Probably more comfortably. Good ball there by Williams, puts Wegerle away. Is he going to square it, or is he going to keep it and cut inside and shoot? He holds up Butterworth, then comes inside, looks as if he's going to pass it square, then shoots, and Gunn saves with his knees. Luckily it bounded away from Elstrop. 2 minutes of injury time as Roy Wegerle picks up the ball, and Elstrop has a shooting chance here. Play on, says the referee, no penalty. And indeed that was a pretty optimistic cry as the ball broke forward there for Elstrop. 2 defenders on him, no real chance of a penalty as an eventful first half ends. Dreyer wins. Crook nicely down to Fox. Crook. Phillips. Crook running things at the moment, and effectively too. Rosario. Control not quite good enough. Sherwood seemed to be balked there. There's a free kick surely. Again, Luton pulling everyone back except Wegerle. And here's Dale Gordon. There was a lot of space and time for him there, surprising amount. As one player went for it, it went over his shoulder. Dale Gordon comes into the hole, he controls it neatly and has a quick shot, but Chamberlain does the job. Butterworth and Wegerle, some pushing, a free kick to Luton this time. John Dreher's come up on the edge of the area. Williams with the kick. Chip forward. Here comes Dreher. John Dreher, first league goal. 2-0 to Luton. And Norwich City were caught wanting there. Luton were called out by this sort of free kick last week against Villa. Now they catch Norwich out. Coming in to fill the hole. Gunn couldn't get it, and it's 2-0. Nice kick by Williams into that no man's land, and Dreher gets onto it first. 10 minutes in the second half gone. The score now, Luton 2, Norwich 0. And John Dreher, the score. And here's another possibility, Elstrop. Breaker, he bounced away, and fortunately Gunn could readjust. And Luton really in overdrive here. So it broke here for Breaker, he drives it forward, it's deflected, and Gunn does well to readjust. Kingsley Black appears now to be coming off. Not quite sure whether it's permanent. Yes, it is, because we have Ian Dowie coming on. Just back from a loan spell from Fulham. The former Hendon player coming on for a taste of First Division football, which is very, very new to him. Rosario and Dreher, and Dreher holds him up. There's a free kick. It'll have to be taken from the correct spot. They're getting a few breaks, Norwich, but they're not getting them in the area they want them. But we're going to have a substitution for Norwich City. Jerry Goss is coming on. Raoul Fox is coming off. So it's a winger and attacker for midfield player. Transfer listed Jerry Goss. 17 months since he was in the First Division. Crook forward. Elstrop swings on away for Roy Wegerle to go for. And Gunn's going to have to get there first. Wasn't quite as dangerous as it looked, but he's got such pace. Goalkeeper did well. Well won by Dreher. Williams. Sherwood. Dale Gordon keeps it in, but Priest read it well, and Wegley might be able to return this. Wegley, great skills. Priest, Wilson. What a great goal! Danny Wilson. Well, I think for a moment that Norwich City were mesmerised on the edge of the area by Roy Wegley's magic. But Wegley gathered it, turned it, rolled it, then Priest just pushed it across the area, Wilson banged it. And that was a spectacular goal. A terrific drive that Brian Gunn couldn't and didn't see. 20 minutes gone in the second half. The score now is Luton 3, Norwich 0. And the scorer, Danny Wilson, his third of the season. Another substitution. Malcolm Allen on, Robert Fleck off. First, surprisingly enough, first taste for Malcolm Allen this season. Beaumont's free kick, not offside. Dowie and Elstrup against Sherwood. Square for Williams. Oh yes, what a goal! What a brilliant strike. That is so difficult. And a lovely ball across the face of the goal area. It all started with Dowie winning it. Then Elstrup gets it across, and what a terrific left foot strike by Steve Williams. Elstrup just held it up. Into space he rolls it. It's so difficult to time it right. Don't go for power, go for accuracy and timing. It was brilliant. And the score now is 4-0 to Luton. And Steve Williams, so long out in the cold, is on the score sheet too. Meanwhile, Norwich have got a corner at this end. 7th Norwich corner, but they're trailing by 4 goals to 0. And Dowie gets up on the back of Allen. And Allen gets in there and Rosario shoots over. Or was it tipped over? Well, Allen came in on it. Rosario chose to have it, but way over the top. Crook. Here's Bowen. There's Phillips. Still playing their football. And out it goes, somewhat surprisingly, for another corner. Eighth corner is rolled out to Bowen, and then to Butterworth. Goss can't get there, it's banged away. Forward goes Jerry Goss. Down he comes, and it looks like a penalty. A push by Dreyer on Goss, and Norwich are going to get a chance to pull one back. Well, a harmless-looking ball as it broke through for Jerry Goss. But the push by Dreyer means a penalty. It's going to be taken by Malcolm Allen. And although Chamberlain got a hand to it, it's a goal to Norwich City. It's 4-1. Well, Chamberlain guessed right. He did get a hand to it, but Norwich have had such problems creating chances in this game. Pull one back. 84th minute, the score, Luton 4, Norwich 1. Malcolm Allen with his first goal of the season. But does it mean much? One again by Dowie. how effective he's been since he's come on as substitute. Beaumont to Dowie. On the right is Wegerle. Through the middle is Elstrup. Wegerle. Fries. And Harvey might have a go. Well, they're all trying to get in on the act. He's got a very, very good left foot. The full-back substitute coming steaming up from the left. There's always danger there, and it wasn't far past the post. And Wilson looks for Dowie. Butterworth pinches it. And there is the whistle for the end of the game. So for Norwich, the end of a fine run. Their first defeat of the season, their 12th game. 2 scruffy goals, they'll say, but 2 brilliant ones. Danny Wilson powered one in the 65th minute, and then Steve Williams with another absolute corker to give Luton their very best performance, their best result of the season so far. Their first win in 5 league matches, and that certainly eases the pressure. Norwich certainly don't do things by halves. They hadn't conceded any away goals, but now they've suddenly conceded 4. The final score, Luton 4, Norwich 1.
You seem to be enjoying it and getting involved a lot more. It must have been giving you a lot more satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way I am. I like to be involved, you know. I like to be a bit robust and a bit at the centre of everything, you know. That's the way I like to play. I don't really like to sort of be on the fringe of things, you know. Being involved and getting amongst it is my game, really, yeah. And it was nice to get the chance against Norwich for 20 minutes and Millwall for 40, 50 minutes, you know. And it was nice to set up a goal and get the lads a point, you know.
Tell us about the winner against Derby.
I think you could see it in the celebrations. I quite enjoyed it. No, it was a good move actually. Danny hit a great ball out wide to Kingsley Back, who controlled it instantly. Really, one touched it and then whipped it over across the defence with curling ball. And I just seemed to sit. It was coming above the centre half, and I jumped early. And because it was curling, it was a little bit behind me, so I just managed to stoop and head it back the way it came. And I don't remember who the keeper was. He just couldn't seem to get his hand on it. No, but it went in the corner and it was great, you know, especially with the win, you know.
Luton had gone 1 down at Millwall in the 11th minute when a stumble by Darren McDonough led to Ian Dawes scoring. And with Luton's away record, things look really ominous. Ian Dowie had come on for the injured Roy Wegerle only 4 minutes before he combined so well with Tim Breaker out on the right. He hit over a really great cross for Lars Elstrup to score. And that was the Danes' first ever league goal. Derby here fielding the same side that drew at Highbury, so they're obviously on quite a high with good players like Mark Wright, Saunders and Goddard up front, and very busy in midfield, but Luton are working really well. And Dowie is racing away to get into a striking position in the middle. This one's aimed for him. He gets up. Good header, but Shilton really wasn't tested, but really good and encouraging for Luton to see him getting in good positions. Away goes Dean Saunders down the middle, but Wayne Johnson covering him well. Luton, of course, still very pressed with so many injuries at the back. Never able to field the same side more than once. But here's Kennedy, and there's Dowie, and Wilson almost in on it. Shilton out very fast indeed. Luton looking very lively at the start. It's going to take something special to beat the goalkeeper of the quality of Shilton. Well in by Beaumont. Plenty of time for Derby to pick this one up. Luton mark up. Forsyth with the throw. Marking tight from Wilson, down the line and nowhere. Looking good so far for Luton. Ray Harford, the manager, is very anxious for them to keep it tight at the back and give themselves time to shape up something up front. And Dowie working very hard. Away by Wright, big strong header. Back in again by Beaumont. And high challenge there by Kennedy, which the referee didn't like. Referee Neil Midgley from Bolton, one of the most experienced. So we'll have a free kick here for Derby County. Right with the kick. Not many big fellas to aim for up there, but they come forward in numbers in midfield. Dowie can't control it on the difficult surface. Beaumont gets up. Williams going forward for the return. Garrett Williams, and that's John Dreyer to mop up tidily. Looking pretty secure so far at the back, but taking no risks. Big one from Chamberlain. Dowie gets up well, beats right. That's a good header. Picked up by Danny Wilson. Down the right goes Tim Breaker. Wilson still has it. Good challenge by Wright. And a turn by Saunders. Goddard is up with him. Saunders very nippy. In for Goddard. Saunders coming again. Trying one. And Chamberlain pulls it down well. Made it look very comfortable, but that was a well-created move by Saunders. Banged away. Picked up by Tim Breaker. Instructions to hold it. Forward neatly by Steve Williams. Return to Danny Wilson. A bit of space for him. Needs support on the right-hand side. It's a very, very good run by Kingsley Black. And Elstrup couldn't get the clean strike on it. And Chilton was down cleanly. Good move. Finish not quite there. Still very evenly balanced as we move into the early stages of the second half. Dowie again holding the ball up well. Kingsley Black, little jig, not 100% fit. Knocked away. Ted McMinn coming back for it. Breaker's going to get onto him. And that's well stopped. And they're all working hard here. Just need that break up front. Breaker to Danny Wilson. Fires a big one over towards Kingsley Black. Couldn't get there. Dowie getting up again, beaten by Wright. Wilson again. This time he does find Kingsley Black. A lot more space this time. Picks his man out. And it's Dowie. And what a header! Ian Dowie beats Peter Shilton. And a terrific leap there. Well, Shilton couldn't be blamed for that. That was a quality goal. All the way from the cross from the right, the cross from the left, and the header. There's Wilson's contribution. Picking out Kingsley Black wide on the left. He's got time to control, but he doesn't delay it long before he hooks a curler in, and Dowie leaps prodigiously to beat Wright and score 1-0. And that's a really encouraging scoreline for Luton Town. After a magnificent victory against Norwich, they're looking good here. John Dreyer with help from Elstrup. Can Dowie get up to that one again? No, it wasn't Dowie this time. It's Breaker with a shot. And Wright got his head in the way, but I'm not sure whether he knew too much about it. That was a very powerful effort by the Luton right back. And Shilton and Wright enjoying that one for the moment. Steve Williams corner. Johnson coming off the near post. Dowie at the back. Wilson. Dowie again. Wilson once more. Ducking down to the line. And over it went. Well, that didn't work for them, but certainly the cohesion of the team is admirable. But there's a hold up for the moment because we're going to get a substitution. David Priest is going to come on for Kingsley Black, who's got, I would think, a recurrence of that ankle injury. Priest is on. Will get a little spice to midfield. Again, Dowie leaping well, getting a bit of support too. Elstrup. Not sure who to give it to. Kennedy gets in there well to win it. That was a 50-50 ball, which Priest now has. Support on the left from John Dreyer. Wright wins that one comfortably. But there's nothing comfortable about the Derby defending at the moment. This is looking better for them though. Goddard wide on the left. Number of players coming up in support. Goddard with Saunders, and McMinn can't keep it in. So they built well, but Luton came back to cover fast and forced them into error. Dowie not able to control that one too well. A bit of space here for Derby County before Steve Williams rescues Luton very assuredly. Dowie leaping again. Nice flick on. Elstrup gets it wide to him again. He's got support on the right hand side. Danny Wilson. Little chip into Dowie, knocks it back, and a drive. It's working well, and Dowie's in the middle of most things. Williams powering forward, and Kennedy gets in there with a tackle. Appeals for a foul. Goddard forward to Saunders. This looks dangerous. And handball. No, says the referee. It was just a corner off Johnson. Williams thinks they should have got more, but a smile of confidence from Mr. Midgley. Just a corner, but it was a really dangerous move for Luton. When Goddard and Saunders get together, there can be problems. 1-0, not enough to relax. McMinn's corner. Chamberlain a touch, and out it goes for another one. And it's Micklewhite this time, again with the central defenders up there. So important that Luton hang on here. Dowie is hurt. I would have thought probably struck by his own goalkeeper. But 1-0, a very thin line of safety for Luton Town. Dowie recovers. And the corner to be taken by Gary Micklewhite. In comes Wright. Oh, that's a wonderful header off the bar, and Luton survive by the skin of their teeth. Micklewhite again. Priest is onto him. Good challenge. Well, Derby very unlucky there. Wright with a magnificent header, and the bar saved Luton. Well, another goal now for Luton would wrap it up for them, but it's not easy. Both sides working very, very hard. Good passing movements. Dreyer getting support here from Steve Williams. Priest picks up again. Forward goes Dreyer. Elstrup on the near post. A little touch, and good save by Shilton, and away it goes. So close to wrapping it up there. But now it's Derby coming back again. McMinn forward. Goddard is fouled. It's a free kick. Still 1-0. The goal by Ian Dowie. Probably hear the anxious voice of manager Ray Harford shouting from the bench. Micklewhite blocked by a combination of Dreyer and Priest. The crowd whistling for time. Referee checking his watch. Still Derby press anxiously forward. Williams too strong, and a roar of relief from the Kenilworth Road crowd. Another check on his watch by the referee. Get on with it though. Safely down the line, and there indeed is the final whistle from Mr. Midgley. A good 3 points for Luton Town. A good performance all round. Ian Dowie's goal, so important not only to him but to Luton Town's progress in the First Division, and a very hard-working Derby County side beaten. And not only that, but Ian Dowie has beaten the best goalkeeper in Britain, Peter Shilton. Well, that was a good start to November. That was followed by a point in London. At Crystal Palace, the Wright-Bright combination soon had Luton in trouble. A Bright goal after 30 minutes, and soon afterwards Luton lost David Beaumont, another central defender, injured. Steve Williams' free kick, aimed for Ian Dowie, came close to working an equaliser for Lars Elstrup, and he wasn't too happy with that finish. But when the equaliser did come, it was a strange one. A Luton miscue, Kingsley Black swoops, a tremendous shot, and before goalkeeper Brian Parkin is recovered, defender Dyers hit his own bar, leaving Danny Wilson with an easy one. 1-1. Well, Hughes looks offside, Danny Wallace is in the middle, and he puts it in. No flag though, and 6 minutes gone, Luton are 1 down. Phelan on the way through. Michael Phelan's got through the Luton defence. He can score another one for Manchester United. Good save by Chamberlain. Here's Hughes, and another good save by Alec Chamberlain. Great stuff there by the Luton goalkeeper. Wallace swinging at it through the middle. What a great ball. McClare bursting away on the right-hand side for United. Luton are all over the place, and Blackmore wraps it in. 2-0. Good ball out on the right-hand side for Kingsley Black. Against Robson, he beats him and shoots, and well picked out by Jim Leighton. That's encouraging though for Luton. Black with the kick. Dowie gets up. Harvey hits it. Wilson, and they've scored. Luton pull one back. 2-1. Great drive by Harvey in the first place. Now here's Danny Wallace again, and Manchester United coming forward in numbers, and that's a fine long ball to Hughes. Hits it quickly and scores comfortably. What a great piece of finishing. 3-1 to Manchester United. But still Luton coming back. Wegley on the right-hand side. Useful cross and good bit of defending. John Dreyer blocked by Leighton. Here they come again. Kennedy, Black, Dowie, and over. And he really should have scored. At Southampton, Paul Rideout's early strike set the pattern. A goal in 2.5 minutes and plenty more to come. The Luton were soon level after a series of shots were charged down. When the equaliser did come, it was a cracker from John Dreyer. Not a bad strike for a defender. 4 minutes from half-time. A Jimmy Case free kick, a Letitia header, and Southampton are ahead again. Immediately after half-time, Luton came back themselves. A good move involving Dreyer, Elstrup, Dowie, and Kingsley Black. Deflected in, it's 2-2. Then it started to go badly wrong. Ruddock's header, Rod Wallace scores, 3-2 to Southampton. With 20 minutes to go, another one for Southampton and for Rod Wallace again. Longer distance this time and some cool finishing. 4-2. In less than a minute, it was 5-2. Luton can't seem to get it clear at all at the back. Eventually it comes to Letitia on the right-hand side, who sets up Alan Shearer. Who gets there eventually? Four minutes from time, the worst result of Ray Harper's managerial career was confirmed as Paul Rideout heads the 6th for Southampton. For what it was worth, sadly not much at this stage, there was still time for Lars Elstrup to get another for Luton. 6-3. After conceding 13 goals in their previous 3 games, Luton's clean sheet against Spurs produced a welcome point, with Alec Chamberlain in great form. This last second save from Paul Walsh, just one of his good efforts. At Hillsborough, the crossbar came to Chamberlain's aid there, and when Sheffield Wednesday did take the lead, it's a goal really we don't want to talk about too much. There's a bit of pressure out on the left. The cross is partially cleared, a right boot swings from James and it's deflected in off John Dreyer's face. Well, a painful replay for Luton and John Dreyer in particular. That's a real knockout blow. On the positive side, Hatter's equaliser was a really good one, and one for the record books. The good cross comes in for the right, and in goes 19-year-old Julian James, his first goal for the club.
When you came back on loan, the first game you played was against Arsenal at Highbury. What were your views and memories of that game?
Well, I can remember getting a good reception from the supporters that had travelled down to the game. I thought we did quite well during the game. We conceded 3 goals at bad times for us. You know, we'd done quite well for the first 20 minutes or so, and then conceded a goal. And although we got back into the game straight away, and then, as I say, we conceded another goal. I think it was after we scored as well, and then we conceded the 3rd goal at a bad time as well. But I thoroughly enjoyed the game.
Donaghy's been booked, the kick's been taken, and here's Dixon looking for the cross, and Marwood gets up. Here's Smith. Great turn. Arsenal 1 up, 13 minutes gone. Steve Williams with a kick. Here's Dowie, great header. Elstrup, and Luton are level. Tremendous goal. Nice free kick, but Elstrup knows that Dowie's header did the job. Richardson for Arsenal. Looking for Merson, the substitute. Nice ball played wide to David Rocastle. And here's Merson, and that's a fine header. 2-1 to Arsenal. Substitute Paul Merson. Dixon again looking for that long cross, and in goes Marwood. He scored. Tim Breaker got in front of him but couldn't stop him knocking it in. And another one for Arsenal. And Luton really working hard at this one. They're still in the game, playing some good football. Dowie doing well to hold 2 players off. Dowie still with it, and down he goes. It's a push. It's a penalty. Winterburn penalised. Elstrup's kick. 3-2. And Forrester sauntering through this one. Nigel Clough to Hodge. What a lot of room he's got. And he scores. Nottingham Forest 1 up, and really that's no surprise at all. Well, if Forest get another one at this stage, it's all over for Town. Pearce going for the return. Pearce is through there. Jemson with an open goal, and he misses. How on earth did Jemson miss that one? Well, it's made a big difference to Luton to have Mick Harford back in the side, but they really need a break. Harford chasing this one. It's come off his back, and Richard Cook's picked it up. Against Walker, he's passed him. Cook in with a chance. Cook, and he scores. Richard Cook, in his first full game for Luton Town, scores. 82 minutes, 1-1. Difficult times for Luton. They seem to be running but getting nowhere, and Chelsea have all the space. Here's McAllister down the right-hand side, and Wilson with a header. Not a particularly good one, but good enough to beat Chamberlain, and Luton are 1 down. Here's Clark to Wilson. So much space for Chelsea. Dixon wide on the left. Nobody getting at him. Wilson with a little flick, just enough again to beat goalkeeper Chamberlain, and he might well shrug his arms. Luton chasing the game now, but things not really going for them up front. Nobody really knows who's going for what, as Moncal bangs it away, and it's Dixon against Dreyer, and he's past him, and it's 3-0. 83 minutes gone, it's all over. It's no way to start at Goodison Park conceding a goal after 90 seconds, but that's what's happened here. Norman Whiteside. After 37 minutes, it was 2-0. Alec Chamberlain makes a good save, but Mike Newell, one of Luton's old boys, sets one up for Graham Sharp. In the second half, Luton came back into it. Dowie is tripped in the area. Wilson makes it 2-1, but these are difficult days for Luton.
There has been a bit of turmoil in the club. People have come and gone. It has had a lot of publicity. What were your feelings about it all at the time?
Well, I think being in the game so long, you know that these sort of things do happen in football. It's not the most stable of businesses. Inside the club, we knew that it wasn't all that was being reported. It wasn't quite as bad as people were making it out to be. But still, I think it was quite unsettling. You start to worry about things, you know, obviously you worry about your own position and stuff. But I knew that the club did say that neither myself nor John Faulkner's position was in any danger. And but nevertheless, it is unsettling.
But it was unsettling in many ways that there were inaccurate statements being put out.
I feel so, yeah. And that was the worst thing for me. That was the worst thing, that things were being put in a certain context and made to sound a certain way, when in actual fact that wasn't the way they were at all.
But you're the new Luton manager. What are your feelings about the club? Because you've obviously had associations with them going back some years.
Well, I have tremendous affection for this club. I feel it was one of the best things I did in football was moving here. I had 7 very enjoyable years and quite successful times. I left them to go to America on the best of terms. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Since I left them, I've never said anything but good about them. And to me, it was a fantastic break for me to get a job coaching here when I came back from the States.
Have you felt that the club has always risen above itself, or indeed played above itself on occasions?
Yes, I think so. There's no doubt that they're a small club. And they're a small club who always seem to be higher than they should be, and doing better things than they should be, and better run than they should be. And I think it's true to say that sometimes they've embarrassed larger clubs. And I just love that.
What are the Jim Ryan principles that we can look forward to in the way the team plays, if you get the players fit?
Well, this is, I think this is dangerous ground to talk too much about what you're going to do. I like to think of that football is an entertainment. I wouldn't have been drawn to it as a kid if I didn't see it as an entertainment and something that excited me and made me want to go and play and make me want to go and watch. And so I feel that weighs heavy on my shoulders. I want people to come and watch, and so I think the onus is on us to provide some sort of entertainment.
So your first game as manager was at Anfield against Liverpool. What sort of a side did you put out there, and what did you tell them before they went out?
Well, what we tried to do was take as many positive elements from our team and try to arrange them so that they might have some effect positively on the game at Anfield, rather than trying to worry too much, or being caught worrying too much about all the good players they have at Liverpool, and they have them in abundance. So then we try to go and do something positive at Anfield. Now, saying that you want to do something at Anfield and actually doing it are two different things. But I feel that what we managed to do came off to a certain extent for us, and that, plus the fact that we got a little bit of luck, were the factors.
Free kick, John Barnes. Oh, what a great bit of skill. Barnes with the opener for Liverpool, 1-0. Knocked in by Harvey, and he's down for Kingsley Black, and a terrific strike by Black, and Luton are level, 1-1, and here come Luton again. Kingsley Black again in a dangerous position, across the face of the goal, Nogan, and Nogan has scored. The 19-year-old Welshman on his Luton debut has put Luton into the lead. And whenever Barnes gets the ball, it looks dangerous. Across with Nicol on the far post, and that's 2-2.
Tell us about that goal you scored to equalise at Anfield.
I think it was played from the left-hand side by Richard Harvey, and Mick Harford won the initial knockdown, and it was a header out, and I just saw it coming down and managed to get it on the volley and into the corner. So I was very pleased with that, and we did quite well.
And then within a couple of minutes you played a part in Kurt Nogan's goal.
Yes, very pleased for Kurt. He played exceptionally well, and he deserves his chance, and he stuck the goal in superbly.
How hard did you find the game at Anfield?
Fitness-wise, it was quite good, but towards the end I was getting a bit tired. Legs were going.
But by that stage, of course, you put one in the back of the net. Liverpool had taken the lead, then Kingsley Black had equalised. Almost immediately afterwards, you scored. Tell us how that goal came about.
Well, I got the ball just over the halfway line, knocked it out to Kings on the wing. He went down the line, got to the byline and just pulled it back. I could see he was going to pull it back. Stopped and it just came right for me.
Well, you said just coming right for you. You took it outside your foot, didn't you?
Yeah, I just let it cross my body and just got a touch.
No,
It was enough.
Yeah, it was. It was the accuracy of it and the touch was really terrific. You must have been really thrilled to see that go in.
Yeah, it was. Just took one look at the cop and they were silent. I was so happy.
Well, he's arriving, but sadly he's going. And saying farewell to Mal Donaghy for a second time wasn't easy. At a time when Luton's central defenders were being struck down left, right and centre, when the team really needed his sort of experience. But he's a Manchester United player at the moment, so accepting the inevitable, a party spirit prevailed for his testimonial, with his young children, Karen and Fiona, part of the Donaghy lineup. There's a few eras of Luton players out there, and even Brian McClare in a Luton shirt. That's something to think about as they push forward against this Lav side in their mid-season break. We're going to have a corner here, and we're going to have vintage Moss to take the kick, and we're going to have some old boys coming up to receive it, with Paul Elliott getting in there. Paul Elliott via Italy to Celtic, a real quality player. Well, John Dress seems to be enjoying himself, as quite a few other people are here. And Wegerle gets forward, and I think Dowie might score. Nice one for Dowie, and such a shame that we shan't be seeing Roy Wegerle in a Luton shirt anymore. Knocking it around, plenty of space. Most people getting a bit of room, and we might get a goal from Donaghy. He's past the goalkeeper. Donaghy is going to score. Oh, what a rotten thing to do. And he gets a reasonable reception from the crowd here. A French defender spoiling Donaghy's moment by clearing off the line. Big up and under. Paul Elliott doesn't seem to be too interested. And Le Havre score. Pulling one back. And I suppose if you wear gear like that, you deserve something on a night like this. So Les Silly beaten. Wegerle really pushing it around now. Danny Wilson. Ricky Hill's still out there. We're not quite sure what team he's playing for though, but Dowie cuts in on this one. Will he shoot? He does, and he scores. He shouldn't really have done, but it's a goal for Dowie. A little bit apologetic about it. Still some good play, although it's not a competitive game. Luton are showing that their passing play is good enough to open up anybody. And Kingsley Black might set one up for Danny Wilson here. He just about made it. A good night for Mal Donaghy.
Mal, from my point of view, playing with Mal is, you know, in the back four next, but right back, left back, centre half. Mal was a great steady player for me, and he helped me in my career as well at this club. We had Kirk Stevens at the back. When Kirk was out, Mal would play right back or whatever, and he filled in for anybody. He even played midfield, I think, sometimes when I was here. And he's had a great career, Mal. I've got every admiration for him as a professional footballer.
I know he's one of the most honest people I've ever met, and probably honesty is the thing that springs to mind with Mal. I mean, a lovely guy with a lovely temperament, and if there's any value in football, then Mal is gold.
Who was it who went to Ireland in the first place to buy this this very powerful acquisition for Luton?
Well, it was a long time ago, Jerry. David Pleak went to watch me in a Northern Ireland under-21 game in Dublin, and he put a bid in for me shortly afterwards.
Had it always been your ambition to be a professional footballer?
No, at the time I was working for the post office as a clerical assistant in Belfast, and it worked out well for me.
You've had a lot of good times, one or two pressure times at Luton. What would you pick out as the best times?
Well, obviously the 1988 Little Rouge Cup final was the highlight of my career at Luton. There's one or two other matches that I can remember. The game at Manchester City where we had to win, and the disappointments of losing in the FA Cup semi-finals. But in general, I've had a really enjoyable 10 years.
Although you always gave forwards a bit of a hard time, you gave television commentators and interviewers a bit of a hard time because you said you'd never do an interview to win a major prize. Did you set that up as a deliberate goal for yourself, or was that just a laugh?
No, that was the only excuse I could come up with at the time. Tonight you've got me behind, in front of the cameras, and I think this will be my one and only interview.
A new era at Luton has started. Jim Ryan, the manager, they've obviously got a bit to do to get themselves out of the bottom of the First Division. What are your feelings and thoughts about the club at the moment then, Jay?
The club, I think, from when we got promotion from, they went from strength to strength. David Pleat's left and all that, and he built a team here, which to me was a good First Division outfit. Probably now they've got a few younger players, and they've got maybe buy a couple of players, but the club's got the footings to go from strength to strength. It just, you don't get something for nothing, you've got to work at it. And hopefully the new manager now will take off, put the club on a new footing, and they'll start off and get a bit of success.
Bobbling shot that beats Brian Gunn, ends the record and puts Luton Town ahead. Nice header, but Kingsley Black wriggles it away, then he stabs it forward, bounces, deflected, bounce away from the goalkeeper into the back of the net. 1-0 and 4 minutes gone.